And we are live.
Aloha snack bar, everyone. It's the one, the only, Senor Silverback, the majestic ape, the real majestic ape who beats the crap out of pedophiles, and the financial Magilla gorilla. With that being said, I am joined by none other than the sidekick extraordinaire, the master of the flux capacitor, the one and only CJ, and we're rocking it out on Rogue Money Morning with V and CJ. So we're breaking down the news, the views, and all the things that are important to you. With that being said, check out our sponsors at myfreedomnow.us. These are the guys you need to call if you want to kick the bankers in the nuts. I mean, just the other day, we had a collections agency send a letter to one of our clients and says, "We're sorry for screwing with you. We didn't realize that you had My Freedom Now working on your behalf. Our nuts are hurting and we're going away. We're dropping everything against you. Have a nice day, sir. Goodbye." Literally, that is what happened. Of course, I being sarcastic, but literally, that's the kind of stuff that happens
Nice.
every day. With that being said, CJ, what's crack-a-lacking?
Oh my gosh, I think everything's going on right now, V.
Yeah,
Everything's going
man.
on. And I keep looking for some positive in the news, to bring some light, bring some fun to the show and everything. But yeah, just a lot going on, man. It's
James had an interesting thing to say. I mean, and I believe him wholeheartedly. I mean, you look at the fact that right now people are trumpeting, "Oh, look, General Flynn might have broken the law with his foreign contacts." Well, James said that it's an absolute smokescreen and a cover to cover up for Jared. And he's right. Jared has more hooks than him than a salmon in a fish market, bro. It's ridiculous, So the golden turd is to fly over the world, brokering. I'm not going to call him a turd. That's a compliment. Let's call him the golden douche. The golden douchebag is flying all over the world because he looks like a douche. He's such a douche. He has a douchey look about him. Anyway, he's flying all over the world, brokering Mideast peace and doing this and doing that and whatnot. And this is the kind of stuff. And where's the good news, CJ? I'm trying to find something. I mean, the cost of the wall. Talk about walls here, right? The cost of the wall. All right, it would only cost us. It was revealed 0.035% of the government budget. Okay, 0.035% of the proposed budget. It's a joke. It costs nothing to build this wall. So I'm waiting for something here. But anyway, Siege, let's get this thing cracking, bro.
Yeah, and you saw where Ted Cruz came out with a creative way. He wants to use El Chapo's seized drug cartel money to pay for the wall, V. Did you see that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. El Chop, that would be great. But do you think somebody would actually do it?
No, it's not going to
happen. If you and I were running the show, Siege, we'd have that done no time. We'd shut it down, Siege.
We'd shut it down and make it happen because that's how we roll.
Shut it down like our name was Negan, bro. We'd shut that down. That's it. We'll have El Chapo. We'll have El Chapo working on the wall, bro. Like he will be. He'd have his money fix the wall, and then on the Mexican side of the border wall, we'll have a little cage with El Chapo in there, in a prison stripes, with the chains around his neck, so people could come down and says, "Feed the El Chapo," where the people, give him tomatoes, peanuts, they can give him chimichangas, harachas, whatever it is, man. Right?
Or
whatever it is.
Look at him as food.
Yeah, man. We could do that. And this way it sends a strong message to all the other cartel members. Don't mess with the U.S. But that's not going to happen, Siege, is it?
No. Just some really quick one-offs. Obviously, we talked about Ted Cruz bill. Also, last night, another liberal judge blocks Trump's executive order on sanctuary cities, halting that basically states that the government cannot cut funds for those particular cities. So again, the liberal courts, the same courts that protect the pedophiles and everything else, they're all aligned. They all work together. Also today, Trump has signed an executive order to reduce corporate tax rate by 15%. And then also in other interesting news that we'll have to monitor is that Ann Coulter will be at UC Berkeley today for the Antifa Patriots Battle 2.
That's going to be great. Look, here's the thing. I'm an enterprising capitalist, CJ. You are as well. We should fly out there and make it a pay-per-view event.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd sell out.
We'll get like 5 or 10 drones to get multiple camera angles, get it all set up, and let these guys go at it. Craziness, man. Anyway, what's going on in North Korea? It seems like the Korean peninsula and the 38th parallel starting to heat up, my friend.
Yeah, so yesterday, apparently North Korea had one of its largest ever fire drills with artilleries. At the same time, a North U.S. Sub was docking in the south. So again, it looks like North Korea is not backing down to the rhetoric, the drums of war that are there. No direct fire, obviously, on South Korea, because that'd be a whole different circumstance. And things are having a tendency there to escalate and on a continuous path.
I mean, it is. I mean, one thing that most people don't realize, I don't even think the American planners, and I don't have much confidence in American planners these days. I don't think what they realize is this: Little Kim, the Instagram king. Okay, one thing you got to understand about Little Kim is this: this guy is somebody who loves the bomb. Okay, if you've seen Doctor Strangelove, you've seen that guy who the bomb bay doors open. The atomic bomb is dropping, and Tex the cowboy is riding that atomic bomb all the way down like it's a bucking bronco while screaming "Yeehaw!" That's Kim Jong-un. He is somebody that has left humanity a long time ago. He has left humanity, and he's someone who's completely tied his entire reason for existence, his entire reason for success and prominence in the entire world to be intricately intertwined to his own nation's nuclear program. Okay? This is a guy, when a nuclear missile goes off, he has an orgasm, literally. Like, he sits there, he's standing there with his generals as the missiles are going off. You can see the little guy kind of quiver a little bit. He kind of quivers, his cheeks kind of jiggle right on his face, his eyes roll back a little bit. He's having an orgasm. He's having an orgasm because there's a nuclear missile being launched. Okay? This is the type of madness that Kim Jong-un is. It's the type of insanity this guy is. Okay? So, in other words, folks, even though his technology that he has is probably from the 1960s, even though 90% of his military is starving to death, this is not a guy who's afraid to lob nuclear bombs at anyone. That's a serious situation there, CJ.
Yeah, and if we take a look at some of the underlines of probably what may be driving it and influencing it in terms of the peninsula as a whole and the U.S. interest, obviously, this has been going on with North Korea for several years. But a very interesting article came out in regards to looking at South Korea and who has been providing their oil V. And as it turns out, Iran, since the U.S. removed under Obama those sanctions and allowed again the Iran oil pipelines to come back online, Iran is now the number 2 supplier of oil to South Korea.
Yep, absolutely. And then when Iran's nuclear capability gets up to par, where they're able to refine and start building refineries and they're able to refine oil, Iran will be the largest supplier. They will outdo Saudi Arabia. They will be probably number 2 to Russia in the world in terms of oil. So that is the whole entire thing, man.
Yeah, and yesterday we covered in terms of the U.S. alliances with the Afghans. So to me, is North Korea more about Iran than it is North Korea? I mean, if you look at the influence that that Iran has had.
Yeah, you're right.
Syria with Iraq. I mean, Iran has become very influential in the Middle East.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is about containing Iran. Why? Iran is very integral to the New Silk Road. And I've detailed this so many times on this show. You only heard it here on Rogue Money, nowhere else. I've said it so many times. About a year and a half ago, it was decided in China that China needs to remove North Korea. Vladimir Putin's also agreed as well a year and a half ago. Because the simple fact is that North Korea is an unreliable partner because the DPRK, that's the ruling party that's there in Kim Jong-un. Unreliable partners. detailed that over a year ago. We knew that they were going to be, at some point be dealt with. I actually wrote articles that they're going to be dealt with. And the articles I think I wrote were 2 years ago, CJ. 2 years ago.
Right. And now we're just now seeing it come to, even coverage regarding, right, for example, the U.S. policy on Iran avalanche of flip-flops.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the whole thing is this, blocking Iran and then going after North Korea does two things. You are disrupting the emergence of the New Silk Road. You're upsetting the trade. And the oil that gets to Korea is going through where? Where is that oil going through? The Strait of Malacca. Why is that important? Well, the Strait of Malacca, the South China Seas, okay, that is the reason why China is building up its military in the South China Seas to ensure that its oil supplies that are coming out of Iran and Yemen, which is another hotspot, goes undisturbed. That's the whole entire thing here, CJ.
Bingo.
This is why the Chinese, they're so aggressive. Chinese aggression in South China Seas. There is the only aggression in this world is the United States. The only aggression is these globalists who are still, doing these provocative measures. And my thing is this: it's come on, I want the president to start, put a leash on these guys. We don't need to be doing these drills, so close to the Chinese waters. We don't need to be doing these provocative maneuvers. Okay, because we're provoking, they're provoking back. We cut it out, they cut it out. You think China and Russia has time to play this game with us? They're too busy making money. We're too busy going broke. Do you think they have time for this crap? No, they don't. It's all about blocking the New Silk Road, man.
You're exactly right, V. And that's why I personally continue to monitor the actions of the administration, the good and the bad, to share those things. For example, that tax cut, that may sound great on the surface, as far as reducing the corporate tax rate, but who's going to pay for that? That's going to be, the budget that they're going to do that they've already done. Then they're going to have to scale back at least by that amount or whatever dollar amount, so that dollar amount that they cut doesn't end up on the American taxpayers' back to fund that. That's like a stimulus program for corporate America again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And plus you still have Obamacare, you still have the regs, you still have these things that are in place that makes business very difficult. 15% is great, but is that going to benefit small business or much larger guys? It's going to benefit the much larger guys. But the problem is small business drives America. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Let's see what gets done. I mean, but hey, man, it's guys still throwing something against the wall, trying to make something stick here.
Sure, absolutely. We'll
gotta give him some credit for that. I still don't think Trump's a globalist. He's this, that. He's a Kabbalist. Do I think he's probably being co-opted? Yeah. Do I think he's given bad information? Yeah. Do I think he's being manipulated? Yeah. Do I think the guy's in a fight for his life? Yeah. Do I think he's perfect? Hell no. Hell to the no, he's not perfect. But do I think he's trying to sell America down the river in the fastest way possible? No. Do I think there's a lot of nepotism and crap going on in his office? Yeah. Do I think he's trusting idiots that he shouldn't be trusting? Yeah, I do. Do I think it's a serious problem? Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes. It's a serious problem. CJ, what's the next thing, man?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit around Russia in terms of what their economy, and in particular of interest is that it looks like now with Russia's Mir card, which is equivalent of their debit card, it looks like they're about ready to get a historic agreement with MasterCard. And this would basically allow for Russian citizens to travel abroad anywhere and have their Mir card
work on Mastercard network.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So that's pretty huge.
Well, here's the thing, man. We have the Chinese credit card, UnionPay. UnionPay already works in the United States, guys. Okay, if you're in New York, okay, there's two biggest, of course, New York City. But if you go to upstate New York, like about an hour, maybe less than an hour up from the city, you have what's called Woodbury Commons, okay, which is the second biggest tourist attraction in New York, and that's the biggest outlet mall in the country, probably even the world. It's a massive outlet, and you have nothing but like foreigners and and tourists that shop there. The prices are awesome. The deals are great. Heck, I go there whenever I can. In fact, I need to go to the new Adidas outlet, CJ. I got to get some new Adidas sneakers, which I've seen, which have caught my eye.
There you go.
I'm typically an Asics guy, so let's see how that works out. But it's a great. So I'm there at Woodbury Common. The last time I was there, you'll see a lot of Chinese tourists, and they're already carrying UnionPay. And the UnionPay cards work in every store, CJ. It works in the food court, the restaurants, the whole 9 yards. So UnionPay is already here. So Mir is going to have the same thing. So do you see how the exclusivity and the panache of being like an American and on the and on the Swift network and using our bank wires was like something that's so exclusive? It's not anymore, bro.
No, this is going to impact, if this agreement's done, it's going to basically produce 40 million cards that they'll be able to use. It'll have the Mir and the Mastercard, logos. And all this is a result of the uncertainty with the U.S. and the relationship, the sanctions. They've kind of been forced into doing this, just to protect, themselves.
Yep. Absolutely, man. 1,000%, bro. 1,000%. Again, some more North Korean news, man. North Korea conducts the largest ever live fire drill as U.S. nuclear sub docks in the south. Again, this is provocative move. Look, we all know Kim Jong-un is nuts. He's a nut job. Okay? Look, I get what the military-industrial complex is doing here. Okay? They're trying to, in one level, stir up tensions globally in order to sell the world crappy military hardware like the Patriot missile that could not shoot down a 1950s Scud, okay, as evidence in Saudi Arabia. I get it. I get that, they're trying to sell them missile systems like the THAAD, which is a joke. And people, the THAAD is not a joke. It's a successful missile. Okay. Sure. Whatever. It's a joke. It's an absolute, it's garbage. It's an average missile. I get what they're trying to do. I get that even while, this made headline news, CJ. While the sub was pulling into South Korea, in Japan, all of a sudden, the majestic, trouble-free, greatest fighter plane that ever created, the F-35, came out of the sky and landed in Japan, and rainbows were shooting out of its engines. It was amazing, CJ. Giving the impression to the Japanese, we need this high-tech American piece of shit in order for us to defend ourselves against the North Koreans and their pieces of shit. This is the game that's being played, bro. But go on, man. What's up with this article?
Yeah, again, it just goes back to the rhetoric. North Korea, they're not going to back down, and that's exactly what you said earlier. That we're dealing with a madman. He doesn't take logic. He doesn't take reason into consideration on his actions.
If you want a good snippet of the psychology of Kim Jong-un, the Instagram king, you need to check out the movie The Interview by Sony Pictures. It is a perfect snippet into the mind of Kim Jong-un. Right, CJ? You and I saw this movie, bro.
Yeah. It just breaks down perfectly his mind. He loves basketball. He was educated in, I believe, Sweden, and he's really taken to his great grandfather's legacy even more than his dad, and that is just that the road to protectionism, the road to sovereignty as a country is through obtaining a nuclear weapon, and he's hell bent on that.
Yeah, and he's got nukes. We don't even know how many nukes he's got, and that's the whole entire thing. The port call by the USS Michigan, first reported by Reuters, came as the Carl Vincennes was steaming towards Korean waters. No, was steaming towards Australian waters, and is expected. While top envoys for North Korea policy from South Korea, Japan, and the United States met in Tokyo, the nuclear-powered submarine, the USS Michigan, which arrived in the South Korean port of Busan, is built to carry and launch ballistic missiles and Tomahawk cruise missiles. Some have speculated that North Korea will conduct another nuclear test or a long-range missile launch in defiance of UN sanctions, and perhaps on Tuesday's anniversary of the founding of its military. Luckily, nothing happened. Okay, luckily, somebody's keeping tabs on somebody made a phone call Kim Jong-un and be like, listen, asshole, knock it off. Just knock it off. Stop. Chill. Relax. I think it could either be Xi or Vlad. Because they seem to be the only two adults in this whole room, CJ.